Hello, my beautiful people. I will be talking in this video about the complete cure for all of the diseases. So basically, I took some of the content from Swami Paramhansa Yogananda and I made a lot of great pointers. I just took it from there and I wanted to share with you people because it's definitely very much resonating and it does help and cure any sort of disease. So the first one is physical sickness. And the physical sickness basically comes from a toxic situation or an accident or bad food or bad community or people who are basically not supporting you. And you tend to get into a self belief that probably you're not worth it. And then the second kind of thing is mental illness, wherein a disease, before it actually manifests into a real realm, is staying at your mental state. And the third is soul sickness, which is basically because of the ignorance of a man's true relationship with God, because you do not know who you are and you feel like God is like a some sort of a God who's out there in the heaven. But that's not true, because the reality is that the one who actually created is within each and every cell of our being, and who we are is we consider ourselves to be the body. And if we do think so, then basically body is a just an accumulation of cells and the bones and blood and every single thing that we are aware about, that science talks about. So the third pointer that he says is about the soul sickness, which is the ignorance of man in the true relationship with God. So ignorance is supreme disease, and when one banishes ignorance, he also banishes causes of all physical, mental, and spiritual disease. So his master in turn was Sri Yukteswar Giri, and he often said, I'll quote his words, wisdom is the greatest cleanser. So if you are aware of what you truly want, and then you go deep diving within and see, why do you want that? Is it just because rest of the people have, or just because you were brought up that way that you need more and more? But truly that end is never over. But in a true essence, if you see close, every single human being, every single plant, every dot of an atom that exists, everything just wants happiness. And everybody, the whole sense of probably I should say the reason why one is created is so you can enjoy the happiness, so that you can be yourself, so that you can express, so that you can create. When you see a person who's let's say how society perceives you, they might think you are stupid, they might think you are dumb, they might think you are super intelligent, they might be jealous of you, they might be of having whatever is notions that the society contains about you, maybe your parents, maybe your colleagues, doesn't matter. But who you truly think you are is quite a lot of external visioning, like how your eyes are visioning, is actually looking at into the eyes of other people. But is that true? Because if you keep all your senses closed, all your five senses of the body closed, and you just look within who you are, and you don't probably have an answer, but you do know that there is a being, because you do not deny your own existence. You say that, yes, I am. And at no point in time one says, I do not exist. So why this awareness is important, coming back to the point why I started talking about this, is because just staying with this awareness can release a lot of stress in the body. And this is my personal experience. Like, for example, day before yesterday, when I was super stressed for some reason, and I was thinking probably it's the person in that moment who's basically causing me trouble. But what truly you come back to the point and realize that you do not know of how you are going to react in a certain position, in a certain moment. And since, because you are trying to basically understand your own self, you know what I'm saying? And this is absolutely critical, because you might think you know yourself, but you do not know. And this you get to know while being in complete awareness of the watching of what you do in a day-to-day moment. Like, for example, you're doing fine at your work and your boss rings up and he or she, they just talk. That's a normal conversation. They just assign you a task and you say, okay, fine, I'll do it. And the next day comes and they said something that you don't like, and there's suddenly a very outrage of emotions from you. And you might think it's logical. Well, that's pretty much predictable. But then, end of the day, when that plays out in your mind and that goes on for way too long, and you feel yourself at unease, and that's when you ask yourself, but why am I getting so much affected by this? Like, does this thing really deserve that much attention? Or is it that I'm not putting my attention into the right things which actually need attention? And the reason is because you're too scared to look inside of yourself, because you're too scared to just even be yourself, for the fact that you know that you're not there and you lack so many things. And now a preparatory grant would in turn make you say that, okay, well, I need to prepare too many things. And that's so much overwhelming at a point. Because what I've seen in my mind, and the way it's just like a mesh of clouds, but behind is the awareness. So it's like cloud after cloud. And if you just keep on removing, like there is a standard example in Upanishads, mind is like the onion. So that that onion is basically having a lot of layers. So you just keep on peeling one after the another. But the whole point is, when do you actually know your action is right? Is just by being at ease with yourself. So the whole reason that there is more sickness in the society amongst, you see, hospitals are so much crowded with patients. And even if you just take a look at the normal conversation, it's not very enriching. Though there is a global shift, they say, but you do see a lot of negativity around as well. So the whole point is basically, if you can just clear up your thought, because that's where the seed of the disease is. And mind is like a garden, and you can tend good seeds in that, wherein that will grow to seeds of productivity. You can grow seeds of love, compassion, patience, joy, love, and peace, right? 3 most important things why we are here. But if we do not do that, and we just keep on putting in seeds of jealousy and hatred and all the garbage and rubbish, so those things grow too. And this was another very beautiful quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm sure you all know about Thich Nhat Hanh. He's an amazing Vietnamese monk, enlightened monk. And he said that it all depends on you, how you garden the seeds. But then if there are bad seeds, you need not hate them, because there is compassion. And if you take care of them, like how Buddha did, like you see this beautiful Buddha that I got. So we just need to be more compassionate, so that we don't hate our own selves. And only when you do not hate yourself, you can truly stand in the light of who you are. Then you can stand in your own pure being. There's no other way. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll be making others too. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.